Hello everybody, GrimmChorizo here, and welcome to Ringside Predictions, where I give you my predictions for upcoming WWE pay-per-views. Today we are talking about NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 and SummerSlam. So at Takeover, Velveteen Dream versus EC3. I've been trying to watch NXT every week, and I've caught up fairly well, but I'm sure that there's some things I missed. I don't think I caught EC3's face turn. I thought he was a heel, but either way, looks like he's a face taking on Velveteen Dream. This should be a good match, but I'm going to go with the Velveteen Dream. I would not be surprised if they push Velveteen Dream towards either the North American Championship or the NXT Championship. He's very over, he's great character, he's great in the ring, and EC3 is great too, but I just see Velveteen Dream getting the win here. NXT Tag Team titles, the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain. These two teams have had some amazing matches over the past month or two, and this should be no different. I think Undisputed Era are going to retain here. I don't necessarily know who they're going to go, against next as far as other teams, but I'm pretty sure that Undisputed Era will retain. Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the North American Championship. Adam Cole won the title back at NXT Takeover New Orleans, and I think he's going to drop the title here to Ricochet. Like I was mentioning before, I could see Velveteen Dream maybe moving on and feuding with Ricochet again, but this time for the North American Championship. Either way, I think the match is going to be amazing. Adam Cole and Ricochet, two of the best in NXT, and this match could steal the show. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship, a rematch from the finals of last year's Mae Young Classic. Their match was great back then, it should be great again. I think Shayna Baszler is going to retain. I think, although she's held it since New Orleans, I think she's going to hold on to it a little longer, especially with Ronda, in my opinion, winning the title at SummerSlam. I think they'll want to maybe have a moment where they both have titles, seeing as they're friends and training partners and stuff. So I'm going to go with Shayna Baszler. And the main event was a triple threat, Aleister Black versus Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, but Black is injured with some ball troubles. So it's just Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in a last man standing match for the NXT Championship. I'm going to go with Gargano. I know Ciampa just won the title, but I think Gargano is going to win it here and where do you go from here with this feud? They've done so much. I think it needs to kind of wrap and continue on later. I'm not complaining because it's been great and I'd love to see more matches, but I think it just makes sense to kind of wrap it up with this trilogy here. Moving over to SummerSlam, we got a lot of matches to get to, so let's start with Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. I'm surprised by how much they've been having Zelina Vega actually wrestle. Seems like she's wrestling more than Almas now. But I'm kind of liking the story here with Aiden and Rusev Day. I just don't want Rusev and Aiden to split, but I think that is definitely going to happen. I think Aiden will try and help and cost the match, and then Rusev will attack Aiden English, and Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega will get the win. The B-Team versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team titles. I'm going to go with the Revival. B-Team are entertaining, but I think that they have had their reign as champions, and the Revival, the best team on Raw, deserves to be the champs. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak for the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm very happy this is on SummerSlam. Unfortunately, it's on the pre-show. However, it should be an amazing match. Good for the Cruiserweights and 205 Live to get to be on SummerSlam. I think Drew Gulak's going to win here. Alexander's had the title for a long time, and I think it's time for somebody else to take it. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, a rematch from Extreme Rules and a rematch from feels like every week of Raw. This is a match that doesn't need to happen on SummerSlam. We've seen it. It's not really doing much for anybody, so I'm going to go with Finn winning again. Triple threat Carmella versus Becky Lynch for Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I could see any of the three winning. I could see Carmella pulling out the win after Becky and Charlotte kind of do all the work, and she just kind of sneaks in and steals a pin. I could see Becky winning and getting that good feel-good moment because everybody loves her. I could see Charlotte winning after, returning from injury recently, and then she could either turn heel or she could just, stay on top of the face. But I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. This is another one that doesn't really need to happen. We've seen it twice, maybe more in the past month or two, and Jeff Hardy is clearly feuding with Randy Orton now. I think Orton is going to get involved and cause a disqualification, meaning Jeff Hardy wins the match and Nakamura retains the title, but I feel like we already saw that. It'd make more sense to have Hardy versus Orton on the pay-per-view and then Nakamura versus a different challenger. Bludgeon Brothers versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I think Bludgeon Brothers are going to lose the titles here to the New Day. Although New Day have held the Tag Team titles on both Raw and SmackDown several times, I think they're going to win them again. There's a lot of good teams on SmackDown that they could feud with, and Bludgeon Brothers haven't done too much as the champions, unfortunately. Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank contract. Kevin Owens can win the match by any means. Pinfall, submission, disqualification, countout. So I think Kevin Owens is going to win. Why would that even be a stipulation if he wasn't going to win by some way like that? He'll probably get Strowman counted out, or he'll get him to disqualify himself, and then Owens will win the briefcase. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. I'm really looking forward to this one. We're finally going to get to see the match after all the build. And I think The Miz is going to win. I think this is going to be a feud that carries on for a long time, and I think The Miz is going to start off the feud with the victory. Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. This is another one I could see going either way. You know, they could hold off on Ronda's win until WWE Evolution, the pay-per-view, the all-women's pay-per-view in October. But I think she's going to win it here at SummerSlam. It's a huge stage, and then she can go into Evolution as the champion. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Ziggler will have McIntyre in his corner, and Rollins will now have the returning Dean Ambrose in his corner, and this match is for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins winning here. I do think Dean Ambrose is going to turn heel. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen at SummerSlam. I think Rollins wins the Intercontinental title back, Ambrose turns on Rollins, and they feud for the Intercontinental title. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. A lot of these I could see going either way. I could see AJ retaining. I could see Samoa Joe winning, and I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with Joe winning the title. AJ Styles has held the title back since November. He's had an amazing run. I'd like to see it continue, but I think Joe is the guy to take the title, and SummerSlam is a huge stage to do it. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the 1,000th time. I'm going to go with what I always predict. Roman Reigns. Although he hasn't won the past few times against Lesnar, I think he's going to finally win here. Lesnar will finally lose the Universal Championship, and although I'm not a huge fan of Reigns, I'd rather him be the champ than Lesnar. So I think Reigns finally wins, and it's a big, coronation moment. But then I think Kevin Owens cashes in and wins the Universal title, so they can play the whole Reigns chasing the title story once again. So those are my predictions for NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 and SummerSlam. I think they look like pretty good cards for the most part. SummerSlam has a lot of rematches, though, a lot of stuff that I feel like we've already seen, but I hope that it delivers a good show. I know NXT Takeover Brooklyn will deliver because NXT always delivers, but I'm looking forward to them. Thanks for watching my predictions, and I'll see you next time.